What is up? Okay, as I promised, I was gonna come back and give you another video real quick. I'm gonna start this off by saying that uh, this video here is, it's not an indication for you to buy or sell anything. All this is simply a documentation of my own trading journey. I am not your financial advisor, so yeah. As the time of recording, September 28th. September 28th. We're going to talk about crypto, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about yesterday when I was talking about the plays that I was in, or the day trade that I was in that I swung into. I'll touch up on that. But this is going to be a fast one for you, okay? But cracked out the whiteboard just for this. Let me get my thing real quick, okay? Probably going to use 4 colors. I'll start this off with black, I guess. All right. So, first couple things I'm going to tell you is one, okay, let's talk about the plays first. So I talked about my swing play that I was in yesterday, or that I was in this week. So I told you that at first it was Peloton, right? In the video before last, we're in Peloton. I got out at, I think, 8:40, 8:30 or something like that. It was like a 3.5 or 4% gain, one of the two, 3.5 or 4% gain, okay? Once I got out of that one, I then went and moved on to, what was it? I actually jumped into Kodak, right? For a swing, same type of day trade type of thing. News came out that they were going to do what they wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to get options into it anyway, so I got out of my regular position, sold that, right? I think it was like only 1 or 2%. Moved into the calls I told you about, the 2-year out January's for 2027 expiration date, right? 7.5 calls, right? And $7.5 strike calls is what I mean by that. So if you go on there, you're looking, it's the big numbers, bolt numbers, $7.5. That's the call. That's the strike number, okay? The type of option that it is, it was a call. So you get calls, you get puts, okay? Everything else I don't really deal with. When I'm dealing with options, it's just strictly, calls and puts, right? So I got in there, but I did get into my swing trade that I'm in currently right now is, and day trade, whichever comes first for me, is Ford. Okay, Ford was looking good. I like how its chart looked, and I've been watching Ford for a minute. It's looking like it was trying to break out. It did break out, went up like $1. I think it was like 5%, right? Doesn't seem like a lot, but for stocks like that, that is a lot of movement. Apparently, there's something coming up with on top of some kind of major announcement that they got going on. I don't know if it's major, but they're making it seem like it's major, right? But the tariffs on the automotive industry, similar to the pharmaceutical one I told you about. Long story short, Ford sells the most trucks here. It impacts them the most. So on, so on, so on. Ford looks good, so I'm in there, right? For a day or swing trade. Okay. Now, what we're going to get into here is crypto. All right. And what I'm going to tell you is everybody's talking about the price of Bitcoin. Okay. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? I'm going to tell you what I'm looking for when I'm watching it. All right. And this is what I'm looking for. First, I'm going to show you what the chart kind of looks like right now. Okay. Kind of looks like we're just going to go BTC price. Okay. This is the color, black. So right now, actually, let me do you one better. I'm going to show you, I have something, so I'll chart stuff, right? And if you know about charting, if you don't know about charting, the only thing I can tell you is, basically people, they put lines on the screen, they read the patterns in there, and the patterns, if you hear me say that sometimes the patterns can dictate what the news is going to be. That is what I mean by that when people actually chart it out, right? So I have lines drawn for Bitcoin. Okay, one of them looks kind of like this. You might be thinking that's a weird color to pick. I'm hoping you can see that. Can you see that on here? And you can't see that at all. All right. Let's try purple. Okay. You see that one? That's a little bit better. I gotta work on how I'm gonna do this way better. Let me try to make it thicker. All right. Also might be time for new markers. Is that better? I can work with that, okay? So that's the line that I have drawn, right? And your price of Bitcoin, this is Bitcoin, like I said, right? It's kind of doing something like this. So before it had hit one of these moves, right? Came up, went up a little bit. Now it's down right here, went one of those, and now it's currently like that, okay? Like that. This right here, when I say inverse head and shoulders, okay? That is what I mean, okay? Because it's like your head and shoulders, right? Head, shoulders, inverse because it's like if I was upside down, correct? Okay? This, which you normally measure for when you do this move, you measure from right here to down here. They call this peak to trough, right? You take this measurement and you would apply it to technically right here, where it would complete the pattern and break out, okay? Now, so that's a bullish kind of move, okay? So this move, this line right here that I drew, this is that neckline, okay? So when I'm looking at this, if I'm looking at this right and I'm thinking like, okay, we're good. When I say we're good, it is when we're above this line, okay? But mainly, actually, let me say with that. It's when we're above that neckline is when we're good, okay? Now, what you would be looking for if it's gonna go down, so you break out, right? You're doing good. As long as you stay above that line, you're good. So you're saying right here, okay, are we done for? Are we done? Or is it gonna go down? Not yet, because what you're looking for is confirmation. So and confirmation goes both ways. And what that is basically it'll break out, just like it did right here. And then what'll happen is it'll come down for a retest. And a retest is coming back down to this neckline, the purple line that I have drawn, hitting that line, going back up, but not just going back up. It's got to get higher than the recent highest point. Recent high. Okay. Breaks out, goes higher than the recent high. That would be confirmation for, okay, it's going to keep going up. Not only that, this would be like your new support levels. If you hear me talk about resistance and support, this is one of those. Like you can have multiple on a stock. Okay, this is the one I'm talking about for this one right here. I'm trying to get out the way, but still be in the way at the same time. Now, so what you're at right now, so you're like, okay, we didn't retest and go up secure, so are we done for? Not really. So what you're gonna come down here, you're currently at a retest right now as it stands. Actually, you might be a little bit above this line, but it's still in that same area. So I keep it into that same area. That's why breaking the recent high would be your absolute confirmation. Okay, we're good, right? Right now, you're retesting this to go potentially lower. And this is what you would look for if it goes lower. So just like this way, if I'm breaking out, right, and you want to know confirmation for it to go higher, you want to go higher than the recent high. Now for this one, if it hits this line, right, and then tomorrow and the day after that, it starts going down, and you go down and you test this, which is the recent low, that would be confirmation that it goes lower. Okay, so you might be thinking, well, so if it goes, no, so if it breaks out and we go lower, and I gotta figure out which one of these is gonna be brighter for y'all, either the red or the orange. So if you're thinking like, okay, we break out and we go lower, so we just pretty much done. It's going down to 70,000. That's it. Wrap it up. Cancel Christmas. Here's the thing. If you ever hear me talk about a 200 moving average, I'm about to show you. Everything has a 200 moving average. All it is the average price, the daily. I think the daily, the high and the low. It's the average price that this thing has traded at for like the past year. Okay, and how traders use it is if your chart is above this 200 moving average, right? It's considered a bull market. Okay, if it's below the 200 moving average, it's considered a bearish market. And all that means is when it's in a bull market, people are thinking that it's in a trend to the upward direction. If it's in a bearish market, it's in the trend to the lower direction. Okay, so how you apply that is just like you see how I got this chart right here. This is a bullish chart pattern. Okay, an inverse head and shoulder, which would be, a regular head and shoulders, which would be the opposite of this, would be a bearish chart pattern. And all that means is you can have bearish and bullish chart patterns in a bull market or a bear market. But what you would typically want, right? If I'm in a bull market and I'm above the 200, right? I'm looking for bullish chart patterns, okay? Because they have a better likelihood, they have better odds at playing out like in my favor, okay? So where is our 200 moving average? And we're about to find out which one of these is. Ooh. But is the orange nice though? I like orange. Can you see that? On my face. You can see it, but we're just gonna use red, okay? Because it kind of looks brighter, okay? So your 200 moving average is like, it's doing one of these, and it's currently like right. It's probably something like that, okay? And the price, let's just go 200 moving average, okay? Red. And the price of this right now, this area, if it were to come down and move around, it's probably around 104K, right? To 100 and what, 6K? So in that range. So you're thinking, okay, so if we hit this, and I could probably use yours for this, hypothetical. This is gonna be the hypothetical. Hypothetical, if it hits this little or neckline, right? Let's say that it's at the current price and it just drifts. I'm trying to make it downwards. Drifts down, right? This would be your next thing that you look at to hold for that. Okay, that's what I'm gonna be looking for. If it goes below this, then again, we're gonna come back and I'll probably even do a drawing for it. But if you just think about it, okay, you break this little line, that's important. You have to do a retest and confirmation. So technically, you would have to do it for the 200 too, right? If you're thinking like that, you're on track. If you're not, it's okay, I got you. But you break this, right? Let's say you come down here, you do one of those moves, then you come back down, you break down that recent low. Yes, then we would be talking about, I would have to look at the chart, see what the next support is for that. Then yeah, then that would happen. What do I think is gonna? I don't think that that's gonna happen. Now, is there a possibility that it can come down, hit this 200, come back up here, test this again, right? Come back down a little bit, come back up, bump out of that. That is a possibility. Okay, that is one possibility. Another possibility, and I'm just gonna use black because pretty sure it's the possibility. Let's say you hit this and you just go up higher. Say you probably retest it again, break out of that one, then you're back up here, you do something like that, and you break out like that. Okay, that's probably what's going to happen. But we got to sit there and watch. Now, if you get this 106 to 104, you can kind of figure out what's going to happen with everything else. Bitcoin's important because it's kind of like a barometer. If you don't know what a barometer is, it's kind of like it helps you tell what the whole overall market is probably doing. Okay, it sets the trend. It's the biggest, I believe it's the biggest market cap in that space. All right, if you trade stocks, it's kind of similar to like if the SPY is having a good day. If the SPY is having a good day, everything's typically going to have a good day, right? If Bitcoin's having a good day, everything in crypto is typically probably going to have a good day, okay? And what this would mean is, if you're down here at the 104, 106 range, all your stuff, if you want to buy something, if you want to buy anything, these are the levels that you want to look at to buy stuff at. Okay, whether it be accumulation or whatever you're trying to do. So options, whatever you're trying to do. You can't do options in crypto, but you know what I'm saying. You can do perps, but we're not going to talk about that. I don't do that. Okay, so that's what I would look at to buy that. You get down to 104, 106. You want some more XRP. That's the time I would go to scoop up more XRP. Solana, if you're a buyer of Solana, this is the time I would look to go buy Solana. If your memes, if you're down at 104, 106, Solana's going to be down. Your memes are probably going to be down. If you want to buy those, boom, okay. But that is what that crypto space looks like. I'm really hoping that you guys can. That's got to be a decent draw. Oh, that's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. Good job, James. All right. Okay. You're up to date. Let me make sure I don't think I'm missing anything. Told you about this space, updated you about my play, told you the right one that I'm in. Okay, I think you're good. All right. So I will see you when I see you. Might be a short week. Maybe you'll see me sooner. Only if we see something. Okay. If we don't see anything, don't expect me for at least. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. All right. Deuces.